Gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
Gordon cuts through. They go to Barrett. He'll turn and shoot for the win.
Oh, bingo! Some others cannot do, just to finish the thought, can't seem to figure out how to do that. A lot happened this weekend. I don't have the highlights, but the most important thing that happened this afternoon in Niagara Falls, Ontario, was the final game of the season of the playoffs for my youth basketball team. And I'll let you guess what player was the best defensively, had the most assists, and scored the most points. And his dad could be prouder.
Somebody who watched a lot of LeBron James because it sounded like LeBron Fluent Jr.
Probably more Scottie Pippen, who was a much better defender and still could do all those other things.
I mean, peak LeBron defense better than Scottie Pippen defense, but you know.
Career defense, Scottie Pippen's
career defense for sure.
And let's be honest, if you change for the pace and the fact that he only had the second amount of field goal attempts because he had a ball hog on his team, he probably would have outscored LeBron too. So it's probably Pippen might be right. He might be better than LeBron.
I also think it's very funny how Jalen changed the arguments to make it so LeBron was better on peak at his defense, but career wise it was
that's what it is. Yeah, peak.
It's interesting the peak thing because it's one of the many new Twitter beefs I have on the go. Which I've never been on Twitter or X. I typically used to go there just for Woj bombs, and then he retired. And then much like how TikTok started, like I wasn't on TikTok, and how it started was someone said, "Can you believe what this crazy person said?" And I was like, "Let me see it." And they sent me the link, and then they were like, "You should, whatever, make them more fluent." So I was like, "Oh, cool." And that's how TikTok started. So a bunch of guys that's a lie. One guy on TikTok kept saying, "How come you never go to Twitter where all the real guys are, where all the smart basketball people are, and make them more fluent?" And I said, "Well, no one's ever sent me anything from those guys saying that they're wrong, because I disagree, like Jalen and I disagree on like who the GOAT is, it doesn't mean he's wrong. It's an opinion. You can't be wrong." And so, anyways, so why I say one of the ones that I'm in right now is this guy was trying to say, "Oh, I used to follow you. I liked all your content. You really know your stuff, except when it comes to Kevin Durant, you're really disingenuous. And so I unfollowed you." I said, "Cool. Deuces. I don't care." But then came back and said, "Because you said this." So I was like, what I said was, let's be clear. And even Tony Durant and I still have the screenshots of him losing his mind on me. I've said this once, twice, a million times, and I'm sticking to it because it's true. He is one of let me correct that. He is the most versatile and efficient scorers I've ever seen in my life. However, he is not a great playmaker. He is not a great defender. He is not a great leader. What he does is score the ball in a more versatile and efficient way than I've ever seen." And he said, "Well, that's a lie. At his peak, he was a great defender." And I went, "Well, no, we're talking about careers. So you admit he's not a great playmaker. You admit he's not a great rebounder. You admit he's not a great leader. And where our one thing is you believe I don't believe he was a great defender for his career. And you think he was great for what? A 3-year stretch." Yes,
he was great. That he was good. Great's a strong word.
But my point is, I said, okay. I said, so tell me what years he was great. Well, 3 times he led the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. And I said, cool. You know how that's calculated, right? It's when you're on the court, how many field goals are taken divided by how many are made by how many are taken based on when you're on the court, not the person you're defending. So you could literally be standing there in the corner. I could be standing there in the corner playing defense on Jalen, and Chris goes no offense, Chris goes out and goes 0 for 4. Cool. My defensive field goal percentage is 0%. Man, I'm the best defender ever. Which, by the way, I went and looked. He does not. He has never led the NBA in that stat, which doesn't matter. And I said, so I go, we got a guy who isn't a top 10 like in steals and defensive rebounds. I think maybe twice he was top 10 in blocks. I said, so statistically, regular stats, not top 10. Advanced stats, not top 10. I said, eye test. I said, not great. Again,
no,
not great doesn't mean bad. Let's be very clear. There's a big gap between not great and bad. And he's like, well, yeah, see, you're disingenuous. He's a great defender during his peak. And I said, okay, I'm the disingenuous one then, because I said just the truth about him.
The only years that he was great, which I got great is generous. He was, first of all, he was training next to Draymond. Second of all, he also had Steph and Clay on the other side of the ball, so KD was able to focus more on the defensive end. So like that's what made it seem like he was quote unquote great.
When he was on what was, I believe, the 4th ranked rated. Even that's a tricky stat, but okay. Defensive rate. He was the 4th. They were the 4th in defensive rating the year before him, when they went 73-9, by the way. And they were 2nd in his first year. Do you know what they dropped to in his 2nd year with the Warriors? Right out of the top 10.
It was like the 2018 Warriors is like one of the only defenses in history. It's like one of the only championship teams in history to not have a top 10 defense. I remember that.
Yeah, it's one of only 2 or 3. So I'm like, so he took them from, okay, they had a little bump from 4 to 2, and then fell off a cliff by those standards. So that's the one argument I'm having on X right now. The other one is actually interesting. There's this dude, and this is why I bring this up, because I said, because now people are sending me these Twitter guys. This guy Myth Nix or something, Myth something. So what he does, he goes and finds old newspaper articles and then posts them and says, look, you know, Jordan sucks. That's his whole, that's all he cares about. Jordan sucks. And I said, you realize those newspaper articles are one person's opinion who wrote an article, posted it in the newspaper. They put a nice headline on it to try and sell tickets. I go, tickets to try and sell papers. I go, he's not old enough to understand that because he's never lived in the newspaper age like I have. And I said, it's the equivalent of someone going on Twitter and posting something like for clickbait. They're trying to say stuff that's controversial. They're trying to say, so it's not factual. Now they might throw a fact in there, they might throw a quote in there, but it doesn't make it factual. So his big thing now is he's back on the 1988 DPOY and how it was fake. So I'm curious from a LeBron fan to hear, why do your people why are they clinging to this already debunked faked article about his stats were all fake and he paid scorekeepers and that's the only reason he won the Defensive Player of the Year award?
But I don't condone these.
I know you have to speak for your people.
I gotta speak for them, defending no matter what, even the crazies. Yeah. I just think they're making up for the imbalances of how Jordan was looked at versus LeBron. This constant kind of attack on LeBron. So they're just bringing the same energy. They're just matching the energy that the idiots who bash on LeBron, they decide to be idiots too and bash on Jordan. At the end of the day, it's just idiots going at each other. What can you really do? You know?
Okay, that's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment, because it's so funny the things he clings to. So he says, well, this article says these 6 games. And so I said, so the article that was funded by Nick Wright, trying to eliminate the DPOY because it's one of the things that is a differentiator, right? Jordan has one, LeBron doesn't have one. They tried to say, oh, Gasol stole his, and that's been proven wrong because of everything. All the statistics show that Gasol should.
Stole is a strong word. It could have gone either way. I'm not mad.
No. It absolutely couldn't have gone either way.
Oh, you don't think LeBron has a case? That's ridiculous. If you don't think
he has absolutely no case. Here's why he has no case. Here's why he has no case, Jalen. Here's why he has no case. Because of the way they give out the Defensive Player of the Year award, he has no case. Does that mean Gasol's a better defender? Absolutely not. Does it mean that Gasol was the best defender in the NBA? Absolutely not. That's not who the award goes to. However, what the award goes to is the person that has the best defensive statistics,
Mm-hmm.
the best advanced defensive statistics on the better or best defensive team in the league. So let me break it down for you. Gasol, 7.8 rebounds, 1 steal, 1.7 blocks.
Mm-hmm. James,
8 rebounds, 1.7 steals, 0.9 blocks. A virtual tie. Here's where it gets no longer a conversation. Defensive plus minus. Marc Gasol, 3.1, first in the NBA. LeBron, 2.4, fifth in the NBA. Defensive win shares. Marc Gasol, 5.4, second in the NBA. LeBron, 4.7, 10th in the NBA. Defensive rating as an individual. Marc Gasol, 98. That's 6th place in the NBA. LeBron, 101. That's 49th place in the NBA. Defensive rating for your team, because the better team defense. Memphis Grizzlies, 100.3. That's 2nd place in the NBA. The Miami Heat, 103.7. That's 9th place. So based on the fact that that's how they give out the award, there is no case.
So
LeBron. Again, doesn't mean who's better, doesn't mean
yeah. I see what you're saying. You're saying, again, the predetermined criteria, which is what the NBA has done for that award for the past 10 years, whatever, 20, ever, right? And perfect fine. Same with the MVP. The MVP for a long time went to
MVP's a little.
But for the most part, it was the best player on the best team or a top 3 seed.
It's almost never the best player
on like a top 2, top 3 seed.
It's usually top 2, top 3 seed.
Top 2 seed. That's usually how it is.
But the MVP is very different than this because when you go through the MVP awards, it is typically, but there's exception, actually a top 3 or 4 team. But there's exceptions where there was a 6 and I think a 7 or an 8 or something. But it might be 6 or 7. But they also have to have certain statistical kind of measurements. Like, for example, the Utah Jazz, I think that year were the number 1 seed, and Donovan Mitchell got not even a sniff, right? So he didn't have, right? Although Westbrook did something that hadn't been done in a million years. So there's and the one that I hate about the MVP, the thing I hate about the MVP is narrative. The narrative plays a huge role. In DPOY, though, you can go back. It doesn't exist. It's if you are the best defense statistically, like base statistics, like regular stats, like what I said, advanced stats, and your team is a top 2, 3, you're winning it. You're winning it.
For a long time, it was who averaged the most blocks for a center. That was a thing too for a while.
But even in those years, if there was a perimeter player, that's why more centers win it. But typically more centers win it because they have the stats, because they're getting those blocks. They have the advanced stats because they're changing the defense because that's the last line of defense. And so their team, like if you look at it, Gobert's leads in blocks, but it's also look at his team defense every year he wins, right? Yeah. So all of those
top 2 defense,
all of those things, even like Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart wasn't the best defender, but he was on a great defensive team, which elevated all his stats. And again, you disagree with why? No problem, because I'm with you. It's not the best defender. But if that is the criteria that they've been using, then when I look at it and I say, so did he get robbed? No, he didn't, because you can't be when I'm comparing. I'm in 1st, 2nd, 6th, 2nd in the 4 kind of major stats. You're 5th, 10th, 49th, and 9th. If you take the names out, there's no debate. So my point is, so they couldn't win that battle. So now there's like,
wait. The exception to that DPOY race is the versatility that LeBron brought, especially that year, guarding literally all 5 positions. That
nobody cares about that.
No, but see that. Okay, if nobody cares, that's their problem. But that's the argument for him. His defensive versatility.
But there's no argument based on
multiple positions.
That is only being used. That is only being used because you're trying to reverse engineer it. I want LeBron to win. How can I explain that he should win?
No. But we watched that year. We watched that year to understand why LeBron could be DPOY. The impact he had on the Miami Heat.
You're confusing. No, you're confusing. You can make the argument why he was the best defender. You can't make an argument on why he was the DPOY because that's not how they vote for it.
Okay, so my criteria is I want the best defender to get the award. Then it's okay. I see what you're saying.
Your criteria, unfortunately, your criteria doesn't mean anything The
which is
NBA
more logical than the criteria they use.
What they say is
we do not care.
They do not care. This is what they use. So that's why I say no case can be made for DPOY. You can make a case for best defender
based on a flawed criteria. I got to add that caveat if we're going to say that.
Based on a criteria that you don't agree with. I don't agree with either. It doesn't make it wrong. Just we don't agree with it. Sorry, Chris. I know you wanted to jump in there.
No, I don't know if you touched on it while I tuned out for a second there, but the argument that I hear from LeBron fans as to why he should have won DPOY that year was because Gasol made all defensive second team that year.
Right.
Why is the argument never why didn't Gasol make all defensive first team that year? It's like the only time that it's like the only argument that I hear from LeBron fans as to why he should have won that year. Didn't LeBron come in third or fourth that year? Because I'm pretty sure Dwight came in second, right? LeBron
he wasn't even second. And the fun part is that narrative of he wasn't even first team. That came from LeBron. He says it when they said in the barbershop, if you remember, there was that episode of Barbershop, and he says, what's one of the things? He goes, oh, that DPOY, the guy that won it wasn't even first team. That I really should have won. I really should have had that one. He's creating his own narrative when he knows for a fact different people voted, so it doesn't matter. And the year before, guess what? Tyson Chandler won Defensive Player of the Year, and he wasn't first team either, but no one says anything about that.
The only reason that DPOY race is even talked about is because Jordan fans love to just say he has DPOY, so he's better, which again is a stupid argument too. Right? That's why. And then, like I said, the idiots matching the idiots' energy, and it goes back and forth. But I'll come back to that.
So that is my point. Listen, we're always going to come back to the idiots match the idiots' energy, but you're right. That's the only reason Nick Wright funded and worked with Tom Haberstroh to come up with this. Well, we can't explain the DPOY thing anymore that LeBron didn't get. Let's try and take away the one that that Jordan got. And to
this day, I still don't know why he admitted that. Like, he just openly said like that. He's like, I was there first and saying like putting into that
because he thinks he's smarter than everyone else, and he knows the Jordan fans are going to hate it regardless, and the LeBron fans are going to think it's gospel regardless. And so to kind of come full circle on this, so it somehow ends up on my feed, and this guy's like, the stolen DPOY and all the stats are wrong. And I said, hold on. First of all, let's go through this real quick. So Nick Wright and this dude, who is a LeBron guy, like crowned LeBron the GOAT in 2016, created this article. And he says, no, he's a Jordan. So first of all, he starts right off the bat and says, no, he's a Jordan guy. And I'm like, well, now you're just lying, right? Tom Haberstroh is not a Jordan guy. So there's lie number one. And he says, well, here's all this data. And I said, what data? He goes, from their games. And I said, the guy wrote an article and said he watched the games that no one else has access to, except for some guy in Latvia. Okay. Let's just think about if forget your emotions. Just if I came to you and I said, hey, let me give you this new wonder drug. It was created by me and this guy in Latvia. No one else has access to these things, just me and this guy. He and I sat down and we went through the games, and we only counted this many steals, and it's the biggest discrepancy ever in the history of home road splits. Then you dive a little deeper, and it's not even top 90 in home road splits in terms of percentage of home road splits, that the biggest gaps. Not only is it not that, it's not even it's of DPOY winners, it's the biggest, but it's the biggest by 0.1 over a guy who won a year or two earlier in terms of home road splits. So it's not like unprecedented that the home road splits are that long. Then you ask, well, why didn't they release the 6 games? No one has the answer. Why wouldn't they show little clips of it? Here's the 3 that we found. Then he tries to explain what a steal is in the article, and he's wrong. Then, not only is he wrong in the article, then he interviews Bob Ryan. If you're a fan of Bob Ryan's, I assume. Yeah. Who says, you know what? Listen, stats are never perfect. There's human error. And do home scorekeepers probably give 1 or 2 extra to their superstars? 100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Do road scorekeepers take away 1 or 2 from superstars they're playing against? 100%. So it evens out. So he says, look, I was giving Bird the MVP that year. And so regardless of whether his stats were what they were, lower, higher, I don't care. He goes, he was getting DPOY because he was the best defender. And he had the stats. But even if he didn't have the stats, he was getting that award almost as a consolation because
you mean all defense, right? Like all defensive is
DPOY.
Bird or Jordan?
No. Jordan winning DPOY, he said, because I was giving MVP to
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
Because he said Jordan had an MVP caliber year, but he goes, I'm giving it to Bird, Boston reporter. So it was like but you're probably the best defender in the league, so I'm going to give you the DPOY as kind of a consolation prize to you. You're not getting my MVP vote. Too early in your career for the MVP vote, right? So that's what's cited. Then they bring in a scorekeeper who's no longer a scorekeeper, which tells you what happened to his career, who was scorekeeping not in the 90s, no, in the 2000s, not in Chicago, but in Vancouver, who was told by one person, apparently, allegedly, in one training camp for scorekeepers, allegedly, oh, that was an assist for Stockton. And he's like, no, it wasn't. He goes, yes, it was. You gotta give the superstars some extra love. Supposedly. So they took that one scorekeeper from the Grizzlies in 1998, 99, 2000 to go back to 88 and say, oh, the scorekeeper in Chicago was cheating for him. No problem. I found one of the games that I could see the whole game. I went through and watched it. With my friend who's a scorekeeper for the Toronto Raptors. To this day, that's what she does. And guess what? All the steals and blocks were accounted for in that one game. So if I can tell you out of the 41 home games, he only watched 6. I only have, and I'm trying to find more. I only got access to one of the 6, but in the one that I watched, it was accurate. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find that the gap between what he said and what really happened, probably a lie. Because if he can use 6 out of 41 to make an assessment on the whole season, well, then I can use 1 of 6, because 1 of 6 is a higher percentage than 6 of 41. I can use 1 of 6 to make an assessment that he's lying. Deeper still. He tries to trick you with his words where he says, there's a game where the Bulls had 10 steals and the Hawks had 10 turnovers. And there's no way that happened. But he phrased it in a way, and then what he has right under it is, here's Jordan's 10 steal game. Posted as it's the same thing. So people say, oh, how did Jordan have 10 steals if they only had 10 turnovers? No. In that game where there was 10 steals and 10 turnovers, Jordan had 5 steals in that game. But the way that he put it in the article, if you've read it, is it makes it look like he's saying, oh, he had 10 steals, they had 10 turnovers. What a crock. We watched that game. And they actually had they missed some of the turnovers, but he did have 5 steals. So it's that kind of stuff that, again, that's what takes away from, but they'll love it. They'll say, oh yeah, 100%. It's in this article, so it's written, so it's true. And it's like, oh, and then here's the other one, the last thing, and then we can move on, or you guys can shut me up. The 10 steal game that he had, the record, 10 steals in one game. How come the NBA only shows in the highlights they don't have the 10 steals? I want to see all 10 steals. Well, unfortunately, not full game films are available from 1988. But they literally have a 4-minute highlight package that shows 8 of them. Even if it was just 8 instead of 10, they have a highlight package that shows 8 of them. As a matter of fact, I accidentally, because they gave me a game, he said, go watch this game. It says Jordan had 6 steals, but he only had 3. And when you go and search for full games on YouTube, I clicked on the wrong one because the one that I wanted, they didn't have it. And so not realizing, I went and I tracked all the steals. And I got right to the end when I realized, oh shoot, I did the wrong game. This is a road game. I'm such an idiot. Like how I didn't realize I was doing a road game. So it was the same season though. a couple days later. So I was like, okay, so in this game they said he had 6, but somebody said he only had 3. Can't find that game. I've asked them to share me the link. They said they have it. I said, so send it to me so I can watch it. Interesting point, though. In the game that I accidentally watched, and I have the video clips, but I'm not going to bore you with showing the clips, but I have them. In the game that I accidentally watched, it was the 1988 Bulls versus Atlanta on January 19th. So this is a game in Atlanta. So after I did where I looked through all the steals, and you can see that, like, I have it, like, I'm not kidding. It's here. There's all the clips. Okay. On the scorecard, he had 3 steals. But guess what? I have video evidence that he had 4. So now, can I say, oh, well, Jordan was robbed of all, because I have one game that shows that he actually had 25% more steals than he was accounted for. So I got to add 25% to all his road steals. Because I found one accidentally, found a game that same season where he actually wasn't credited for all the steals he got on the road. And the last thing. Do you know what stocks are? When I say stock, okay. Jalen? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, steals, blocks.
Okay, so he wouldn't have won DPOY because of his steals and blocks, because they weren't accurate. Here are, I'm not going to even tell you the players, just to make it more interesting. Once I find it, I'm going to tell you road only road stocks. Okay, on the road, so no home games included, just on the road. Actually, no, I'm going to tell you, these are Jordan's career road stocks, and I'm only going to give you the first 5. 139, 164, 141, 142, 120, 132. So an average of about 150 road stocks, not including home at all. Okay, so average 150. There's going to be some exceptions to this. Of course, there's always exceptions. Here is every perimeter defenders who's won a Defensive Player of the Year award. So every perimeter defender who's won Defensive Player of the Year award. Here's their total stocks. Keep in the back of your mind, Jordan averaged 150 on the road only. 129, 135, 340, 121, 112, 120.
Who's the 340?
Robertson, Alvin.
Okay. Yeah.
Who also, by the way, is the one player who had
the year before, right? Yeah.
almost huge. It was 85. No, it might have been 80. Yeah, 85, 86, a couple years earlier, where he had a huge road home split difference. But with that one exception, until you get into like the 2000s, like in the 95, 96, Gary Payton has 250. 03, 04. Who's Ron Artest? I want to say had 202, and then Marcus Smart had 137. So you're telling me a guy doesn't deserve DPOY because of his road home discrepancies, when the guy had enough road stocks alone to put him into the conversation with the exception of 1 or 2 of every other perimeter defender who's ever won the award? Give me a break. Like, oh, sorry. Can I add one more last thing? Sorry, one. Sorry. He also went, this is how dumb he is. He also went on record saying he never watched any of the games.
That's not what you want to say.
I said, what?
No. He could have at least lied. Shoot. If I was him, he would just lie. Like, I watched it all, baby.
I said, hold on. You're basing it off an article that you read because you want it to be so true. What games did you watch? None. I have people. I have minions who did the research for me. He actually had the audacity to say he's the one who started this whole conversation, because in 2024, he somehow thinks he inspired Nick Wright and Tom Haberstroh by saying oh, these road splits, look at the data. They're so huge. He inspired them to do this research, which they probably started before 2024, by the way, dummy. That he's the one that started this whole crusade. He wants to actually take credit for being the guy who started this whole thing. And he was the one that uncovered this scandal, this 40-year-old scandal that no one else was smart enough to figure out, but he was. That's the kind of guys you have leading your army.
Don't say you guys leading your army. That's crazy. You guys have guys like, I don't know. Hey, shout out Shaq, but Shaq, I don't watch the game. Skip Bayless is the captain of the Jordan GOAT trade. Right? He is the leader. He is the prime minister, the president, whatever you want to call it. Skip Bayless. I would say Bayless be saying a lot.
I would say Skip. I would say Skip. Yeah, but that's and listen, you know me when I'm being serious, not when I'm trolling. You know me when I'm serious. I hold LeBron in very, 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 very high regard. I hold Jordan in very, very, very high regard. Neither one of them is in my top 10 of favorite players of all time. And I think Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, and some others are everything that's wrong with this, not with media in general, because they bring a lot of really good things to the table in terms of knowledge and entertainment value. But in this particular Jordan versus LeBron thing, they're the absolute worst. Like, it wouldn't be too far of me to say like the Antichrist, all of them, of GOAT debates. Like, that's how low I hold them when it comes to this particular debate. So when people call me Skip, I'm like, F you, man. Like, I'm fair. Like,
you know what it is? I'm not even mad at Skip though. Like, if someone's paying me $4 or $5 million to have a take, I'm gonna ride with it for a couple years. I'm really not mad at Skip. I'm a LeBron guy. Like, Skip, you solidified a career being one of the most highest paid sports opinion hosts for a decade.
That's fair.
Like, I can't be mad at that for that take. He put himself up there. He helped Stephen A. become the huge name he is today. Now, so hey,
sure.
You think your takes are bad. Fluent, if I'm giving you 5 years, $100 million for bad takes, you're gonna make some bad takes.
I'm gonna make every bad take you could ever imagine.
Right. So
not even close.
So people are hating on Stephen A. Smith. I'm like, I'd probably do the same thing if I'm getting paid $20 million a season to just yap.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I accept that. So that's what I've been dealing with this weekend. I did take the weekend off from that conversation on Twitter because I said to him, I said, hey, listen, okay, what if I find the full game footage and I find the 10 steals? I go, shut down your account. And he's like, you're that scared of my account? I said, no, I'm not scared of people lying because I don't like lying. I've said to you, and you guys have seen me with chill, right? If I'm proven wrong, I said, man, I was wrong. This year, I said to you, I was wrong about JJ Redick. I was wrong, right? I admitted it openly. I was wrong about JJ Redick as a coach. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong, but I'm not going to lie just because I said JJ Redick sucks. I'm not going to, because I can give you a bunch of data why he still sucks, right? Like I can spin it and make it like he still sucks as a coach, but I'm not. I think he's done a great job and I give him his credit. These guys who say, I don't care what you say, I don't care what the truth is, this is what I will like. It's like someone who's uber religious. Like, doesn't matter what you tell my mom, like, Adam, Eve, God, Jesus, dead, crucified behind a rock, came out, said, what up? Like, that's not, you're never changing her mind. And it's like, you can't be that way with athletes when you have data to show that it's not true. Like, it's just, it blows my mind in this day and age that someone is that much of a fan of a human being. And maybe it's because I'm not a fan. But even that I am a fan, like Chris and I probably won't agree on this part, but like, I'm a Laker fan. Magic Johnson's my favorite player. Kobe's my second favorite player all time. I'm the first one to admit they had a lot of flaws.
You can be blinded by fandom.
As people, and as players, they had a lot of flaws. So it just, I guess I don't get and I love these guys, by the way. Well, not these guys. I don't know the other one, but Ajani. Like, I think Ajani from GOAT, James Kingdom, I think he's an awesome dude. He has said to me multiple times, I have it, and I have it written just in case he ever tries to lie and say he didn't say it. He said, I'll never say anything negative about LeBron. He's never done anything wrong. He's perfect. I don't get it. I can't see how someone can be that blind. He's like, but anyways, so there you have it. Oh, what have you guys been up to? Get out of here. Siri's trying to.
Let's see. Shout out Ovechkin breaking the all-time goals record. Huge. It's always nice to see again a legend in Gretzky coming out, showing all the love. And I've never seen a legend, literally the GOAT, whatever it says. Still the GOAT because assists and all that and playmaking. But he literally comes out and said, yeah, back in my day, it was a lot easier to score. So for Ovechkin to beat my record is actually even more impressive because he understands Ovechkin played in early in the dead puck era and played when goalies were better. It's just refreshing to see an athlete who played in his time, who understands that his time was a lot more high scoring, things of that nature, and put that into context. That's great to see. Shout out to Ovechkin breaking that record. That's great to see.
And be clear, in the same amount of games.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 games off. I saw
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he tied him with one less game. And when he tied him in games, that's when he broke the record. So same amount of games and scored, I think, 1 or 2 more, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was, it's great to see.
The difference is in assist, right? Like that's like I know zero about hockey, but so that's why I was a little confused about like the context that people were bringing out as well. Yeah.
Well, it's easy to admit. Well, it was a faster paced game and we scored more goals, and credit to him, it was tougher for him to score goals when you still lead him by like 1,000 assists.
Yeah,
right?
It's ridiculous.
Imagine LeBron having his 50,000 points. No. Imagine Kareem having whatever he had, 42,000, 43,000, whatever the hell he had. So what was it? 42, 41,
43 something. Yeah, I thought.
Okay, let's just call it 40 to make it easy to. Yeah. So Kareem has his 40,000 points. It would be easy for Kareem to say, man, that's super impressive that LeBron beat it in less games, less shots, whatever, like phenomenal. If he was also had John Stockton's assists,
right?
It would be really easy for him to be like, yeah, it's cool. He, and LeBron was nowhere near. Like, I mean, Ovechkin is like not even top 10, top 20.
I don't know. He's at an assist, or I mean like all time.
An assist.
Oh yeah, no, it's a completely different player. Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah, but he is the top. I think top 5 in hits, which is actually insane. Top 10 top 5 in hits.
Oh wow.
Sure. But it would be really easy for Kareem to say, and it's also different because imagine Kareem played in an era where they had 3-pointers and he was shooting them, and the next guy didn't. So again, it would be easier if he had both of those records and he had 3-pointers and the new guy didn't, to say, yeah, well, of course. Yeah, great. Like he had it tougher. Didn't have the 3-point shot, only had 2s, and he was able to beat my record. Like, that's amazing. Knowing in the back of his mind, I'm also first in assists by like a country mile. Whereas in this case, it's flipped. It's Kareem, got beaten points, and he's like, I only shot 1 damn 3 or hit one. Like, I think only shot 1 or hit. Right? Like, this guy has 1,000. Yeah, of course.
What's her name? What's her name? Did that too in the WNBA? I forgot. Like, was it like was it when Caitlin Clark broke her college record or something? It was. What do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like someone said something along the lines of Caitlin Clark, it's like easier for her to break this record given the 3-point line or something like that.
No, because she broke the record from someone who
was a rookie record.
Was
the rookie record maybe?
It was Kelsey Plum. She broke Kelsey Plum, but she literally played in college a couple years before. Like, it was a new record, right? Yeah, but it was
No, but there was one. There was a girl,
Tamika that was hitting, who said she got an extra year when she didn't.
No. It was not Tamika. It was the woman that,
right?
Yeah, who got fired from her job because she was hating on her so much.
Sproles, is that her name?
No, Cheryl Swoops. No.
Yeah, was it Swoops?
I think it was Swoops. Yeah.
That'd be a movie player.
I think you might be right. It might be Swoops. Who was just like, she played an extra year of college. No, she didn't.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was a dumb one. That was a dumb one.
She took more shots. No, she didn't. She's older than everybody else. No, she's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it was it Cheryl Swoops? It might have been Cheryl Swoops.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to look at the name.
Yeah. Cheryl Swoops was officially. Yeah, it was Swoops. It was Swoops.
Who again is a great too. Like, Cheryl Swoops was her. If you look at her,
100%. No, she was elite. Yeah,
but she was clearly just hating for sure.
She was a great player. I really don't get the hate on Caitlin Clark, and this year kind of proves that it's not even that she's white. I think it's very specific to this one girl because they love Paige.
They do love Paige. They do love Paige. Yeah.
There's no animosity. Like, and when I hear reporters on ESPN say, "Oh, it's because she's a little white girl," she's not the first one. Brianna Stewart's white. Kelsey Plum's white.
Yeah,
like,
Diana Taurasi,
yeah,
But
Taurasi. Like,
I think it's just the love. I mean, they were
an Iowa girl. Like, is that what it is?
No, but her love was at another level. Like Paige, I mean,
That's
they saw like the ratings. Like even with Paige, it was still like it was like
Yeah, it was nowhere near. It was nowhere near.
Austin
Plummeted,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just think again the attention she got, I think people just rubbed.
Well, it's because the people criticizing her are stupid. Because why did she get so much attention? It's not because she's a little white girl. It's not because she's from Iowa. It's because in the WNBA or in the women's basketball, because I guess it was in college, you're not. What did we always gravitate to? The people who could dunk, people who could jump through the gym, and we like when we went crazy for Vince, respectfully, initially, it wasn't because he was a great player and he's winning all these games. It was because he was doing stuff that we hadn't seen done ever by anyone in the air.
Showtime.
Yeah, in the air. And we were wowed. Well, nobody on the girl side on the women's side is going to do that.
Right.
But what have we fallen in love with the last 10, 15 years? The three, the long three, the Steph Curry logo three, right? The 40-footer. Well, here's a girl that comes out and does it. So, wow, we're all just amazed by she's shooting it from everywhere on the court. And so they felt, so I forgot Sabrina Ionescu was another, like, no one hated her. It's just this one particular one. And it was very weird to me. And she has the numbers to back it up. So you know what, dummies, ride her coattails and make your damn money. Your business has been losing money for 3 decades. Ride the wave and make your money. Trust me.
She is literally doing what Tiger Woods did for golf. And Phil Mickelson rode the wave and made hundreds of $millions, and he openly thanks him for it.
He says, I was fine being second in every tournament because the second prize became 10 times what first prize used to be before him. Right? And I promise you, if a bunch of guys in the late 90s knew, because of, let's be honest, Jordan and the Bulls' success in the 90s, that in 2001, 2002, whenever they signed the new deal, that it was worth $60 billion or $6 billion, whatever that was, they were all going to start getting 10, 20, $30 million contracts. Trust me, they would have taped up and iced those damn knees and they would have played for 5 more years. They wouldn't have said, screw this. They wouldn't have said, I don't want this. Are you nuts? Just blows my mind.
100%. What are you going to do?
What we're going to do is talk about awards. Here's how we're going to run it. I'm going to give you every NBA award. You will have 30 seconds. I will set a timer. That will be the end of the time. You'll have 30 seconds to make your case. I hope you're ready, Jalen, for this. I don't know if you're ready for this. To say who should win. Who should win the award? Okay, we're going to start small and work our way up, and then we'll end off with all NBA. Do we want to do all dance? We'll see how time is if we do all defensive team. So let's start with. I don't want to disrespect any of the awards, but let me figure out which one should be lowest on the totem pole.
I'm thinking coach
of the year. Okay,
yeah,
that's fair. Okay, so coach of the year. Jalen, you have 30 seconds, starting when you say your first word.
This is probably going to be easy. You got to go with the Pistons coach here. Big turnaround, JB Bickerstaff. I mean, just you see the turnaround. You see the player development. Cade making that jump to, I think, superstar-esque type of player, all-NBA player. Jalen Durant's made incredible jump. Amazing center, played well for them. You have Ben Thompson doing his thing. I mean, it's just team all around. Just it wasn't even huge roster change from the year before. So I think coaching gets a lot of credit for this jump here. Got Malik Beasley being one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. It's got to be.
Chris,
I have zero issue with the JB Bickerstaff pick, but I, however, am going to go with Kenny Atkinson, the guy who Biggerstaff coached the team who Biggerstaff coached last year. And I see both sides of the argument, but at the end of the day, I think it's far harder to make a good team great than it is to make a bad team good. And the Pistons, like, even though the Pistons only won 14 games last year, everyone saw their potential. I think it was just a matter of getting more experience. The Cavs made little to no moves whatsoever. They really just a couple guys got healthy and added Kenny Atkinson, and the Cavs won 64 games this year. And top of the East, Kenny Atkinson is my pick. Shout out Ty Lue, shout out a bunch of other guys.
All right. Listen, those are the top two candidates. So I think you both made good points. I'll give you my decisions at the end. Clutch is just numbers anyways, right? There's no real
Clutch. I mean, do they just do it based on fourth, like some sort of scoring stat in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left or whatever?
I don't think there's any criteria, honestly. Yeah. I think people just vote based on buys, but I'm sure people look up stats as well, like in addition to it. But I don't want to do coach.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So this time we'll start with Chris. Most improved. Go.
My most improved player of the year award goes to Dyson Daniels. The award has kind of changed throughout the years. It used to be an award where no one was expecting him to take a jump, but lately it's been just based on like a potential guy to become a superstar. So another Cade Cunningham does fall under that umbrella. But however, I like the old criteria better. Dyson Daniels was a player on the Pelicans who was really under the radar. No one knew who he was really. Joined the Hawks this year. Guy is absolute clamps. He's pretty sure he averaged over 3 steals a game this year. Not many people. It's extremely impressive, while also guarding the other team's best player. The Hawks aren't all, but yeah, Dyson Daniels.
Go.
I'm gonna go with Zubac here. Zubac, especially the second half of the season, has been phenomenal. We're talking he's made the jump to like a top. Borderline top five center for sure. You can even make the case as a top 3 center if position you put some guys in power forward center. Zubac has had like 20 games. He just had a triple-double the other night when Norman Powell was hurt, Kawhi Leonard was hurt. He was really holding it down in that center spot, getting him scoring, rebounding, defense. Zubac really helped this team, when they were hurt, keep them alive, and now they're healthy, cooking.
I just want to say, first, let me give a shout out to Fluent Jr. And I know I said this before, but I'm always going to give him credit. I had no idea who Dyson Daniels was as a rookie, and Fluent, who's now just turned 11, so he was 9 when Daniels was a rookie, 8 when he was a rookie. Said this guy's going to be an all NBA defensive player, and will be in the conversation for all NBA by his 5th, 6th season in the NBA. And I'm like, who the hell's Dyson Daniels on the Pelicans, right? We're talking about Herb Jones. We're not talking about Dyson Daniels as a defensive player. And now I'm like, damn, good call, kid. Like, good job. I will give you credit, Jalen. That was not a name I was expecting. Haven't even thought about it. But you know what?
You see it now.
It's not nuts.
Not ridiculous. Not ridiculous to say that.
That's not ridiculous. That's
Talk
not
about
ridiculous.
it.
Say that.
Absolutely. So yeah,
shout out Austin Reeves too. By the way, I'll give you your Lakers credit.
Well, and when I'll take away some credit because they had Zubac and they traded him for a bag of peanuts.
That trade.
And guess what we need and have always needed.
I've always said you keep Zubac with AD and LeBron. I think those seasons
that would have been very good.
Very different.
I know. All right, 6th man of the year. Who started the last one? Chris or Jalen? Go ahead.
6th man of the year. You know what? I'm gonna give this to a Boston guy who I don't think gets appreciated enough. Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard, whenever these Boston guys, today he had like 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Whenever the Boston guys are out, he comes in, he can do it all. Points, rebounding, assists, take control of the game. Anytime that you have JT needs to rest, JB needs to rest, Drew Holiday misses game, it doesn't matter because they know Peyton Pritchard can come in and do the job that he needs to do. Any of these guys missing, come in and do whatever you want, whether it's more playmaking, more scoring, whatever you need, he can do it. For whatever reason, he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Do you want to take 30 seconds to tell him why he's right, or do you have somebody else?
I don't have somebody else. Yeah, I'll also add on to a bunch of your points. Malik Beasley is the likely going to be the runner-up. People say, oh, he's far more important to the Pistons than Pritchard is the Celtics, which is probably true. But at the end of the day, the award is who's the best sixth man of the year. And I think that's Peyton Pritchard. Not for nothing. Peyton Pritchard is also the GOAT of Game 82s, by the way. Past 3 years, I think he's had over 30 points in each of those games. And granted, they were against the Hornets and the Wizards, so not much to add on there. But yeah, shout out Peyton Pritchard.
Shout out Peyton Pritchard. Everyone agrees on that one, I think.
He's a starter on a lot of teams, I think.
Easily.
Well, I think that's what makes a great, like, if you look at the greatest six men, right? The Manu Ginobili's, the Jamals, the Lewis, most of them could be starters on any other team.
I don't think Jamal would thrive as a starter like that.
I think there's a lot of situations where let's be clear what we're saying, where he's talented enough to be a starter, like probably on a lesser team, but they've embraced the role of coming off the bench and doing that. Like Manu easily could have been a starter on the start.
Manu is easily
But yeah, Lou and
Lou and Jamal, I just think that six man, like if you started them, you'd have to build your team in such a niche way. Yeah, you'd have to build in such a unique way that, and I don't necessarily think it'd be.
Or they could be a starter on like the bottom one of the bottom 15 teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think he started when he was on the Bulls. Crawford, I could be wrong, and he led the team in scoring, I believe. But yeah, they weren't that good. I just think it's hard to be a starter with those game styles.
Sure. But yeah, my point is that's what probably, if you look at the best six men, if you're not saying they could be a starter on a lesser team, they're probably not the sixth man of the year. Let's be honest. All right, next up is, oh my God, I can't believe who the favorite is in this one. Defensive player of the year. Chris.
Defensive player of the year is the one that I struggled with the most, and it's one that I'm kind of regretting now. I did go with the flow, and you had this same pick a few weeks ago. I did go with Lou Dort because at the end of the day, no one has really wowed me a ton. On the I shouldn't say no one's wowed me, but like I should say as defensive player of the year, there's really been a separator since Wemby went down. At the end of the day, coaches always scheme around Lou Dort. Like you always hear about like Lou Dort's like always the biggest pain in the ass on the best defense in the league. But the biggest issue with him is that he plays less than 30 minutes a game. So that one's going to be he's not going to win this award, and I understand why. But gun to my head, I'll take it.
It's interesting that they bring up the minutes per game, and yet 2 years ago they give Elmer Fudd the all defensive team. First team,
right?
Even though he was playing 24 minutes a game,
right? I'm
going to go back a few years to 86 or 87. Michael Cooper coming off the bench playing 20 some odd minutes a game gets defensive player of the year. So it's like they pick and choose when the minutes matter,
right?
But for the minutes that he plays, I don't think anyone makes a bigger impact on the toughest place to defend, in my opinion, which is why I used Lou Dort on the perimeter. But I'm not supposed to be making my case. So, Jalen, who you got?
I'm going to go with the guy who said for most improved. I've been saying this for a while now. Dyson Daniels, to me, is the best defender in the league. I saw this guy guard Evan Mobley. I've seen this guy guard Cade Cunningham. I've seen the way he guards these guys. He's able to lock them up, stay in front of them, contest on shots, big, strong guy. So it really doesn't matter with two different players. He can do his thing. And on an Atlanta team that has so many defensive deficiencies, he saved that team so much, whether it's help defense, one-on-one defense. He does it all for that team. Even the counting numbers, his steals and blocks numbers are insane through the roof. So his stocks are insane. You watch the games. I just started watching a ton of him because on my fantasy team, I randomly drafted him and he started giving me all these stocks. I'm like, whoa, you watch him and like, damn, he's really that good. So defensively, the weight that he carries for a team that struggles defensively is insane, and still be able to lock up guys. Give me Dyson Daniels.
I gave you extra time because I really like Dyson Daniels, and when you got into the fantasy and betting stuff, I wanted to hear.
Yeah. So that's a real to even the betting community. If you follow them, they're like, hold up, there's usually a line. It's like 0.5 steals and blocks or 1.5, and he was getting like 6, 8, 5, 4 for like a couple weeks straight, and like the books didn't adjust. It was a good week. Yeah,
he's gonna be a guy. I'm telling you, he's not in Atlanta. He's got to go somewhere else. He's gonna be a guy that like goes to a really good team and pushes them over the top to win a championship, and then he's going to get overpaid by somebody else, and he's going to be like a Bruce Brown. And you're going to be like, oh, why do you do that? Stay where you were. All right. Oh, I forgot about this one. Rookie of the year. Do you have a rookie of the year, Jalen?
This rookie class took a while to get good. You know, again, I think Sar, Richard say second half had played well, but first half started slow. Throughout the year, though, it's going to be Castle. I think Castle in in San Antonio, just from the start, the scoring was good. I think he was put in the best position to succeed. He wasn't asked to do too much, was just kind of asked to be himself and really kind of grow into it. So I think that definitely helped him. And then with Wemby getting hurt, he did have a push to the end of the season where he just got more shots, more usage. So he got to show a little more. So give me Castle here. I think as rookie of the year.
Even though you stopped, there was time.
There it is.
Objections to Castle?
No objections. Yeah, not much to add on really. Yeah. He was able to shine more throughout the second half of the year. I know the rookie of the year it tends to be the award where no one really cares about the advanced stats, luckily, because if you start to look at that stuff, like it gets really bad. But Stephon Castle was the easy pick.
Oh, you're supposed to go per 36, I believe, to tell you
per 36
to give you the real value. It's funny because I want to go back to DPOY for a second. It was Wemby's to lose, right? Like we weren't even having. I think that's why everyone struggled with defensive player of the year, because everyone just for half of the season was like, well, yeah, it's Wemby's. Like we don't even have to worry about that one.
Exactly.
So it's interesting that's the one that we fell back on. Is there any other awards? Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, there's one. MV. I feel like Rob Van Dam. MVP. Who's the MVP? Chris. I give you 45 seconds on this one.
Wow. Okay, so my MVP is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And end of the day speaking, it's a 50-50 flip either way. Shai has put together an historic scoring season. Jokic has put together an historic offensive season overall. Again, at end of the day, the Thunder have been historic on both ends of the floor. Shai has been the leading scorer for that, while also being extremely efficient on that end. Advanced stats is a flip either way. Like Jokic leads in more of them, but however, Shai leads in the most important one in the LeBron metric, which is more important in my opinion. And at the end of the day, again, I care more about your ability to raise a team's ceiling rather than raise a team's floor. So while I have zero issue going to go with Jokic, my pick is Shai.
And look at that, 40. I kid you not.
I would die.
Wow.
Like 0.09 seconds, which is probably that's human error, me hitting the button. Jalen.
SGA, great pick. Shout out to the Canadian. But I'm going with the greatest offensive season we've ever seen. It's Nikola Jokic. Triple-double average. You look at the efficiency with the points, rebounds, and assists, the true shooting, field goal percentage. You mentioned whether it's per, warp, whatever numbers you want to use. This is the greatest offensive season ever. And then you take into account down year from Jamal Murray, down year from MPJ, a down year from Aaron Gordon. He was carrying this team while even some of those guys were hurt. Playing with guys like, again, how he makes Christian Braun good player, but playing with Jokic has elevated Christian Braun to levels no one expected. Nikola Jokic, no matter who you have on the court, he's playmaking, he's scoring. You can't stop the guy. The best defensive players in the league can't stop from getting 30. They can't stop from getting 12 assists.
You would have moved me more if you said he just gave Russell Westbrook one more 2 to 3 year contract.
I like that. True.
The NBA was about to give up on him. He made Russ look so good that he's going to get one more contract.
Hey.
Not that Brown. You said Christian Braun, by the way. Brown.
Yeah,
although it spelled Braun.
Is it Braun?
It's Brown.
I don't know why I was called Christian Braun.
What it is or what he wants you to call him?
Oh, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like other people call Christian Braun too. I don't know, or maybe
because it's 100% Braun. It's Braun.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
he wants you to call him Brown because he's a liar. So, but there you go. But yeah, this might be the tightest because it's going to be narrative that decides it. If it's not for narrative, this would be the tightest MVP vote I think ever.
Yes.
And I hope they don't do anything stupid like co-MVPs. But this might be because there isn't a wrong answer. However, historically, the guy that has a historical statistical season typically doesn't win. Just so you know.
But I mean, the exception is when you have the greatest offensive season ever. Like you're like when Westbrook did triple double first time.
Well, greatest offensive season ever would have been Wilt Chamberlain, and he came in third.
Shoot, the 50 points is cool, 50 and 25. But once you look at the era thing with what he
no, they didn't have the era thing to look at.
I know. I'm just saying back then. Sure. If you want to do that caveat, I'm not mad at you.
They had a guy. Hold on, they had a guy who averaged 48.5 minutes per game.
Yeah.
50 plus points a game.
Which, by the way, in today's day would have been looked like that's a bad thing because he's padding his stats right now if he's playing over 48 minutes against.
Yeah, 25 whatever rebounds, shot whatever 60%, probably from the field and from the free throw line. But I digress. And it's just like, and he came in third. Just think about that. He came in third.
The haterade was real.
Third. But anyways, hey, respect to.
We should do maybe next week. I want to say, we can include Will to the greatest offensive seasons ever.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
I like.
You can do that for sure. Yeah.
Do you want to do all NBA first team, or now that the matchups are set, do you actually want to look at playoffs and make predictions?
I kind of want to do all NBA. I kind of want to go through all the all NBA teams.
All right,
Yeah.
Let's go all NBA.
Yeah,
you got it because I know you have it ready, so I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, you got ready.
Yeah, sure. So so first team the first four is pretty staple in my opinion. Everyone has the same. It's Shea. First of all, so Shea, Donovan Mitchell, Nikola Jokic. Oh wait, no, not again. My fifth one story, but yeah, it's Shea, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum are the four, and then my fifth guy is Donovan Mitchell. Given that again, like it's all NBA team, so I am going to go with the best player on what's been debatably the best team, and again, like. The guys who have the other argument for the second to first team haven't been as consistent all year long to make that first team, in my opinion. Do you want me to go through my second and third, or do you want to?
So for first, tell me, just recap it again. First, you have Jokic, SGA,
Giannis,
Tatum, and then Mitchell is your Mitchell's. That's going to be. Let's be honest. I think Mitchell's. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jalen. Mitchell's the only one that I think people will, because I think the other four are locks.
I think
100%.
I think you have three locks, like Hunter, no doubt, with Shea, Jokic, and Shea, Jokic, and Giannis. That's without a doubt. They're in a separate tier. I'm not throwing Tatum in that tier. Let's stop it. Tatum, again, Boston, a great team. You could make a case for LeBron over Tatum.
No, you cannot make a case for LeBron over Tatum this year. No, you cannot. Not this year.
He's the third best player on his team.
It's craziness. There's definitely a case for I think again LeBron on that Lakers team. Man, again,
that Lakers team always another top 5 player in his team. Yeah, that Lakers team.
Hold on. Hold on. Before when Luka first came, he was struggling a ton too. He just got a shot back relatively recent. He also missed a few games.
I don't think he qualifies though.
No, he doesn't. No.
Who? Oh yeah, no, I'm not mentioning Luka. You mean LeBron? Luka? Yeah, no, Luka. No. I'm just saying. I think LeBron, when that Lakers team was going through guys missing games, he was the one constant there, and really, and Reeves too. I gotta get the Reeves when Rui was out too, stepping up, keeping them afloat. So I do think that matters. I mean, if we break it down, skill set for skill set, I really want, I think LeBron takes the edge, but defensively, Tatum still doing his thing. And to me, again, I like Tatum. It's just the value of that team. You take Tatum off that team, I still think Boston's such a smooth sailing ship. They might win a few less games.
What's he do?
Take away LeBron, it would hurt the Lakers more than taking away Tatum for the Celtics.
So first of all, what seed do you think the Celtics are in the East if you take Tatum off there? That's the first question.
Top 4 seed.
Top 4 seed.
Top 4 seed. Yeah.
I don't think so. The Knicks would be better than I think the Pacers would probably be better too, in my opinion. I don't.
That would put them fourth, wouldn't it?
No. Put them fourth. So
I think they'd be better than the Pacers. Knicks I can get. I think they'd be better than the Pacers.
Okay. I understand that you talk about the Celtics' talent and everything and everything that they have, but you take I wholeheartedly believe that Jason Tatum is the system of that team. The reason that the Celtics are able to be who they are is because Jason Tatum is like the Swiss Army knife. He can do anything. He can guard the point of it. He can guard the point guard. He can guard the center. He can go in for 40 on certain nights. But then when a shot's off, he can play off the ball and then play some point forward. He can do anything. And And part of the reason why the Celtics are so great is because of Jason Tatum. Like they have great supporting guys too, but like none of that would work if Jason Tatum wasn't there.
I've just seen games where like Sam Hauser,
You've seen games, yes.
Yeah, no, but a good amount of games where Sam Hauser comes in, gives them a solid 15 to 20. Fournette gets plugged in.
I saw a game where LeBron's late to cover him. His man shoots a 3 and hits it. He throws it and throws a turnover for another 3 and hits it. He has nothing to do on the offense. Austin Reeves takes the shot and takes the lead, and then on the next play, the other team shoots a 3 from half court, by the way, right in the face for the win. Yeah. I can't use my point of that is I can't use one game to say because I saw LeBron James look like the worst player in the NBA in one game or one.
Yeah, it's one game, but there's been a couple more. But I just want to say this: I do think again, Tatum is fine. I have LeBron over Mitchell for sure. The case you can be Mitchell. Tatum is at the next level, but Mitchell is like the real guy that can.
Yes. So I also just want to explain one other thing. So I know the criteria today is it's totally positionless. Mine is kind of positions, kind of. I have for each team I have 2 guards, I have 2 front courts, and then I have 1 wild card. That's how my team's working down. Like I'm not going completely positioned, but like it's positioned in a way. So if you want to have LeBron in your first team ahead of Donovan Mitchell, I have zero issue with that.
That'd be the guy who I really replace. If Tatum's there,
So you've got just to recap. So you got Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Tatum, Mitchell. Jalen, you've got Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Tatum, LeBron.
Yeah, I'll do that 5.
I
just not for nothing. I have the same list that Chris has. Next 5.
Yeah. So my second team, I got for my 2 guards, I have Steph Curry and Anthony Edwards. Probably in that order. I probably have Steph slightly ahead of Ant, given how awesome he was in the second half of the year, and more specifically since the All-Star break. For my 2 front court, I would have LeBron, and then I would also have Karl Anthony Towns. He hasn't been as great since the beginning of the year, but I still think that he's covered enough ground. He was still great enough in the first half to make up for like his slip in the second half. And then my wild card, this one's controversial, but I actually have Tyrese Halliburton. I thought he was robbed from the All-Star game, and I think that he's been filthy since then. Since the All-Star break, he's 20. He's 20 and 11 while shooting with a 68.1 true shooting. So it's like my whole thing was he's looked the best since his beginning of last year. I think he's playing better than he was at the beginning of last year.
Second team for the guard. This is true. I'll have Steph.
You don't have to. You can go positionless. You can,
Okay, gotcha. I mean,
I'm assuming. Don't let me put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming Donovan Mitchell is on your second team then, or
maybe not.
I'm really not a fan. The whole team thing being that good. Like I think Cade Cunningham is better than Donovan Mitchell this year.
Okay.
So I think Steph Curry was better than Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards. So
in fact, I had Anthony Edwards on my first team for almost the whole season, and just because Cleveland just is so strong, and he's I think still the catalyst for that team. That's why I bumped him in there. But I had Anthony Edwards slotted in there up until maybe like 5 days ago.
Maybe I'm penalizing Mitchell for taking a step back for the betterment of the team.
Yeah.
Maybe I am, but for all NBA, I'm looking at the guys who really carried a lot of weight for the team and the thing. So I'm gonna go. I like Steph, Anthony Edwards. I'm gonna give Cade. I'm gonna give Cade a lot. I think Cade for the sweat was huge. Give me Cade and a couple of the front. I'm gonna get a couple of these front court guys. You mentioned Cat, who I like, but he did step up when Jalen Brunson got hurt. So that does make a lot of sense. So I like that. I'm trying to think if I missed any other bigs who I put in there. I don't think Sabonis gets enough love, but just the team being such a down year situation.
Yeah, it's hard to put him in there.
It's hard to put him in when that happens.
Second,
I think you're probably right with Cat there. Cat too, so Cat's good there. And then for the 5th guy on my second team, I'm gonna go with. If 80 was eligible, it'd be interesting. God damn. Could be a wild card, maybe then in that case.
You got 3 guards there, I think, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, if position wise, I'm thinking. We'll go Cat. I'll put my guy out there. We'll go Cat the second team.
Okay.
I think this one is the biggest discrepancy in our lists. So I've got LeBron. I got my guys first. I got LeBron and Steph.
Right.
Yeah.
Cade and Anthony Edwards, who
Okay.
obviously knew Edwards was going to be there because I had him first team and I just let him down.
Yeah.
And I'm rewarding teams that are great. I think that we get into this habit of not and how it's going to affect the narrative if they have too many All NBA. But I'm putting Evan Mobley.
I like that.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like I want to take away with all the teams great. Good. That means they have great players. That's why they're a great team. So I got Evan Mobley. Little bit. I think maybe a little bit different than you guys. Okay, third team.
Not too much. Yeah, third team. So yeah, I do have Cade Cunningham there. Yeah, he just missed the cuts. Yeah, you could make the argument for him ahead of Curry and Ants for that matter. But like, I just think
I'm a huge fan of what Detroit's doing this year. Like I said, I spent a lot of
100%. Absolutely, yeah. Cade, and then he just made. I think he just made the cut. I do have Jalen Brunson. He was awesome at the beginning of the year. Did get injured for a little bit there. He probably would have made second team All NBA if he didn't get injured, honestly. But yeah, like he just skimmed past there for me. And then for my third team front court, I do have Evan Mobley. So I'm willing to listen to a case for Mobley over Cats. Like I'm fine with either way, but yeah, I definitely think he has to be on a team for sure. And next to Mobley, I do have another defensive anchor, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. The Grizzlies have fallen off a ton. They were the second seed for a long time, but then they just completely fell apart and then fired their head coach for a second. Which by the way, sidebar. This is the second year in a row, by the way, where the guy who I picked for my coach of the year got fired. I picked Jarvid Ham last year, and I picked Taylor Jenkins this year. And then I also had a list where I ranked the top coaches in the league. I had Mike Malone at number 2 behind Spo. So maybe don't listen to me about my coaching evaluation.
Unless you're betting who's going to get fired next.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case, do listen to me. And then my wild card for the last guy, it was going to be Kevin Durant, but then he was suddenly disqualified from everything. But I am going to go with Jalen Williams. And I don't think this is because you need a second Thunder. I think it's because he's been a perfect two-way guy for the Thunder. He has an argument to be both all defense and all NBA. So yeah, he definitely needs to be. Not needs to, but yeah, he's someone that's definitely has an argument.
Give me the 5 again.
Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Brunson. Got to give him a love, I think, though. Who saw what the next throughout the year. Tyrese Halliburton, doing his thing with the Pacers. I'm gonna go with this third guy. I think people really slept on this year. Played 78 games, older guy, James Harden. James Harden, I think, was phenomenal this year. I mean, again, when no Kawhi was there, he was handling a lot of the playmaking, scoring duties too. I mean, he was going for 35 when they needed to, or he's going for 14, 15 assists when they needed to. Really did it all, and he was available. I think that was big for them. Norman Powell was hurt too, so he really playing next to Derek Jones Jr. Zubac was there with him. I can't remember who else he was even playing next to that. Not a lot of quality bench guys there. Too many. Bogdanovich up and down. So James Harden, give me him. Big man, I'll show. I got to get a Cleveland guy in there just because of the record thing. So can't leave him completely out. So Mobley, I don't mind. Mobley, I like. And the last one, I really want to put Zubac in there, but I'll throw Mitchell in there just because I don't want to disrespect the Cavs.
Third team. All right.
Yeah.
I have. So it's funny because the last one I'll save the fifth guy because he just slid in kind of recently because he had not been there originally for me. So I got Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, Karl Anthony Towns, and the one that you guys, I think you gave him second team, you gave him third team. He's played, like you said, since the All-Star break at a level where it's hard to keep him off. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, has been. And I think if he keeps that chip on his shoulder, we talked about Indiana in the playoffs. They might surprise some people if he can play, if he can keep that level up. Now, being angry, like sometimes it's good to get snubbed, I think. So that's my 5.
I think the Clippers make the Western Conference Finals.
I think the Clippers lose in the first round.
Oh, that's nuts. They're beating Denver. I think they beat OKC too.
They're the Clippers. They're the Braves.
This is different. This Clippers team looks different. I'm telling you, this is a scary.
They do look different. Oh yeah, I'm rooting for them.
All defensive first team or playoff matchups.
Let's see all defensive first team. I just want to see the 5 we put out.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not confident in my list at all, but I'll give it anyway. So, I kind of went positionless, but at the end of the day, I tried to go two wings and the three bigs, just because I wanted to have like some type of versatility there. So for my two wings, I have Amin Thompson and Lou Dort. And then for my three bigs, I have Draymond Green, Evan Mobley, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Evan Mobley, Draymond Green, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
And you put I Lou Dort for sure to me is on the list. Thompson, yeah, that's a good one. I'd throw Dyson Daniels in there. I still know who I take out. That's the
good. If you guys want to give your first team before I give my second real quick, then we can.
I mean, look at that first. If anything, I would only replace Dyson. Maybe put him in men, but a men's been so good too. So I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah, both of them have been great. Yeah,
they're so interchangeable. To me, Dort, Dyson Daniels, and a man like in that guard forward, whatever you want to do with that.
Yeah,
those three in there. And with the bigs, you put Draymond and Evan Mobley. Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw Triple J in there too, it's a lot more fluid. Like the gap is a lot smaller in DPOY. I think you know what I mean. Like there's not some huge gap between these guys, so I'm totally fine with that.
Just so subjective sometimes. It's tough.
Yeah. You can throw the other guys on the second team as too.
Yeah.
Go with your second team.
My second team, I got Dyson Daniels, Derek White, Jalen Williams, Vika Zubac, and Rudy Gobert.
Not mad at that. I mean, Gobert still Gobert. People just be hating on it because they just watch playoff series against Jokic, but it's Jokic.
Yeah.
It's like that. And then Zubac, I'm with you there. He's
Absolutely.
doing this thing. You mentioned Dyson. Who's the other guy you mentioned?
Derek White.
Yeah. Derek White in Boston. Not mad at that.
He's always gonna have a Boston guy in there when he can.
It makes sense though, I mean, I do think he's their best perimeter defender at this point with Drew Holiday.
At this point, yes.
Older, at this point, he's their guy.
Yeah.
Not mad at that.
All right. Did you do third? No, there's
no third, which is ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So they want to, or some of the guys have said, we should have a third team all defensive. What do you think of that?
I don't see a reason why they wouldn't. If they added the third team in 1989 for overall, the league is expanding. The league is seeking out. Like it's more international now, so there's more guys qualified. I don't and trust me, like I'm very anti-participation trophy award, but I think that since the league is expanding, since more and more things are expanding, I think we should expand the all-star rosters, and I think we should expand the all-defensive team.
I think it's fine the way it is. Like I understand the reason for expansion, having a third, just like the All NBA team, it's fine. I will say I do think defensive, like first team all defense, second team all defense, has seen, I think, probably the biggest improvement from the voting of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. When I go look at those, it was a lot of, especially like it was a lot of legacy votes after a while. There's a lot of players who tacked on quite a few extra teams, and then you go back and watch it, it's like, didn't really, you could see the huge drop.
What are you talking about? Larry Bird was definitely an all defensive player. What are you talking about?
I mean, look, hey, you talk about Twitter. Twitter loves to bring up Kobe's 9 first team.
They do.
9 first teams all defense.
9 first team all defense. Yeah,
bro. I'm telling you, those ones from 2006 to 2011, ain't no way in hell you watch basketball. You thought he was first team all defense in that position. He wasn't better than Tony Allen a lot of those years.
No, he was not.
Other guys too. So shout out Kobe though. But Twitterverse loves the 9 first team all NBA things. But you watch the games, it's different. So shout out to NBA though, because especially now, I think they're really watching, and it's not star driven. A lot of times before, I think it's a lot of star players got the benefit of the doubt and got a few extra picks, but I think they've done it right the past couple years. Even now, like guys like Dyson Daniels would be overlooked in 2000s or in the 90s. I think he might be overlooked because the name brand isn't quite there. So even Lou Dort might be overlooked, even though you could say he's kind of a Bruce Bowen-esque,
But when you say they were overlooked, we already established Lou Dort plays 24 minutes a game.
29.
Okay. How many minutes a game does Dyson Daniels play?
He played quite a bit. I mean, he was starting a ton. Look at his minutes per game.
Look at his minutes. Here's the thing. I think those guys would have played less minutes as well back then, and would have lesser opportunity because let's be honest, the guys are load managing more. They're playing less games. They're playing
33.8. Dyson was playing like 34 minutes a game.
Okay, so those guys would have played less minutes. So those guys who are playing 29, 30 minutes probably play 20, 22 minutes. And people aren't looking to give awards to guys who play less than half the game.
That's fair. I feel like at 22, I get it.
So when you have So some good things have come out of the load management and cutting down of minutes and that kind of stuff. If we've gotten to see these other guys step up and have a more opportunity to have games where they get 15 shots up where they normally get 3-4 a game, and now they're getting 10, 12, 15 in a game, and you're like, oh dude, this guy might be good, let me work him more into kind of our system. So you're seeing more of that. So I think, to your point, you're right, it was star driven, but also I think there was other factors that weighed into it, as the guys didn't get as much opportunity as they do now, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Or even got to me, I think Sean Marion has. Do they have any first team All NBA defensive teams? Because he had a case for a couple years where he was just.
Yeah, I don't know what he had.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sean Marion, one of those boys. Again, mentioned Tony Allen, but again, I think that could be a minutes thing. I think it's a fair argument. The minutes thing is definitely. I can see that. If you don't play. Maybe there has to be. If you don't play at least 28 or 30 minutes a game, maybe you don't qualify. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We have a little time. Do you want to go through the matchups?
Sure. Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Mm-hmm. Matchup away.
All right, let me pull it up because now it's officially official. I think. Is there any games still going?
No regular season games
going.
No.
They've been done.
We're all done? Okay, so the standings are done. Everyone has played their 82. Let's start with the stupidness of the play-in. FYI, the Bulls in Miami should be eliminated because they're below 5. Oh, and Atlanta should be eliminated because they're below 500, but that's not the case. So the first game is going to be Atlanta for the 7th seed, Orlando, Atlanta.
Atlanta has most of their guys healthy. Besides Jalen Suggs, but at the end of the day, they're the much more talented team. At the end of the day, and much better defensive team. They might struggle a little bit on offense, but the Hawks outside of Daniels don't really have a too strong defensive team. I'll go with the Magic in a relatively easy game.
Yeah, I think Orlando should win this game. Paulo and France are definitely going to cause a lot of problems. Though Dyson may have been shot one of them down. We're going to see. That'd be interesting. Trae Young is definitely a problem. Trae Young could definitely be a problem for them. Sure. I think this might come down to Paulo shooting. Paulo has these nights, and even recently,
a lot of those games, yeah,
he shot like 3 for 16. So it really might come down to if he has his, if he can have a game where he gets you 30, they probably win. If he has one of those bad shooting,
you're just wishy-washy. If this happens, that happens. Who are you picking?
Give me Orlando, 95-92.
No, I don't need the score. Are you official, Chris, on
Orlando?
Orlando, okay.
Yeah.
So that would mean okay. So Orlando will meet who? Chicago or Miami?
Atlanta would meet them, not Orlando. The loser would meet the 9-10 matchup.
What did I say?
You said Orlando would meet them. Yes, Orlando. Yeah.
Who would Orlando? I said it again. Orlando. I want to say Orlando. That'll be a sign for anybody who's making a bet. Place the best on Atlanta to win because I keep saying Orlando subconsciously for some reason. Atlanta will face who? Chicago or Miami?
Chicago's been on a roll, and they refuse to tank, and I just feel like the Heat are so checked out at this point. Even though the Heat have the coaching advantage and the best player on the best player advantage of Bam Adebayo, but I'm going to go with the Bulls.
Yeah, I think the Bulls just have so much scoring power now. Josh Giddey's been playing insane.
Yep.
For the past couple, maybe a month now. I gotta really go look, but he's been putting up insane numbers.
Yeah.
Doing it all.
You're watching too many Bulls-Lakers game, Jalen.
Yeah, maybe. And then you got Kobe White give you 30 any given night, and you still have Vooch there. Defensively, they're terrible. They got to win in shootouts. But give me the Bulls here. Yeah, I just think Miami's kind of checked out too.
Okay. So they then play Atlanta.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would.
See, it's stupid. They shouldn't even be in. See, you guys even agree?
No, they shouldn't. I don't know. The easy pick would be Atlanta just because they've been the more consistent team all year long. But then again, the Bulls have been on a roll. Just for the spice things up, I'll go with the Bulls because they're just because I feel like they're more motivated to win than the Hawks. I feel like.
I think the Bulls are just a better team at this point. I think if the Hawks select Jalen Johnson, it'd be interesting. But again, this is a dangerous team offensively, man. I gotta say, Giddey, Kobe White, even the rookie, that Matas Bazelis, he's been having some good games.
So let's see how dangerous. That means the Bulls will face Cleveland in the first round.
Woo!
4.
4 is crazy. 4 is disrespectful.
No, it is not
Giddy gonna
disrespectful.
get you one. Giddy gonna get you one game. He gonna get you a triple double. Giddy gonna get you a triple double one game. I promise you that. He's getting you one game with triple double. I mean, look, Vooch is gonna bring out Jared Allen right to the perimeter. So the rim protection might take a little hit. Kobe White going into that rim. I mean, if Mobley's not there, I'm just saying it could cause. Give me Cavs in 6. Bulls get 2 games here.
6.
Yeah, Bulls get 2 games here. Bulls get 2
If
games.
it's in 6, I'll shave my head. It's in 4. You shave yours.
Oh, shut up. I can't shave my hair. See this pretty hair? You see this nice hair? Yeah.
25, by the way. 25. That's how many more wins the Cavs have than the Bulls. So
that's cute. That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
They're about
It ain't playoff
We're
wins.
about to have 4 more to none. All right. So
we talked about this last week. The next one coming.
Yeah. So we'll do Boston, Orlando. We've already established.
Yeah.
You got Orlando. You have Boston. We're not going to have that debate again. Because now they're solidified. New York, Detroit. You guys were both on Detroit. Or no, you guys were both picking the Knicks, and I had Detroit, if I recall.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think that matchup was the same.
Yeah.
I don't want to rehash, but old conversation. Okay. And then we got Indiana, Milwaukee. And I think we all agreed Indiana, but only because Dame's out.
Dame's hurt. Yeah.
Right. Although Giannis has been playing better without Dame, and he's been looking like the best he has in a little bit now. So
yeah, it's too bad he doesn't have a perimeter defender like, I don't know, Drew Holiday there. All right, Cleveland, Indiana then.
This is going to be a 6-7 game series, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Cleveland, Indiana.
I think it's because I watched Indiana last year take Boston to. It was a sweep, but it was 3 really close games. That's probably why I respect Indiana so much. And that was without Tyrese Halliburton for 2 games, and now with Tyrese Halliburton playing the best that he could, this is going 6-7 games. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Cleveland in 7.
Yeah, give me Pacers in 6. Like you said, Tyrese Halliburton could look like the best player on that court here. And again, Miles Turner matching up again when they have the 2 bigs, Siakam and Miles Turner versus Jared Allen and Mobley. That's not like the Mobley Allen advantage is non-existent there. To me, that's just like a full-on tie essentially. I think Miles Turner. Miles Turner, Jared Allen, right there. Mobley could say maybe a little better than Siakam, but I think Siakam's a way better offensive player. So I mean, that's right there. Nembhard's been doing this thing. Yeah, give me Tyrese Halliburton, best player on the court, and when these other matchups that usually Cleveland has an upper hand in is neutralized because of Turner and Siakam. Yeah, give me Pacers in 6 here.
I'm surprised Chris didn't say 14 because that's how many more wins has than Indiana. I think Cleveland's going to show you they're for real. Cleveland in 5.
I'm really down on Cleveland. Maybe I'll prove around. We'll see.
What can I tell you? OKC, KFC, UFC, Cleveland in 5. Boston, New York. I want you to start because I know he's picking Boston.
This is gonna be a fun one. This will be a fun one. Mikal Bridges, OG is no joke. I think they're matching up with Derek White and Drew Holiday. You got Cat versus Porzingis matchup, which I'm giving the Cat all day, every day. Jalen Brunson versus Tatum, who's going to be the best player? I think Jalen Brunson definitely has a shot. But you got JB there too. You know what? This could be the, you know what? Yeah, Boston's not going back to back. Give me Knicks in 7. Jalen Brunson and Cat in this match. I think they have a lot to prove. I think Cat has a lot to prove in the playoffs. Again, Boston's great. But again, I love the wing duo of OG and Mikal. Mikal Bridges and OG, to me, both those guys, defensively, offensively, can do wonders.
So, Chris, obviously you got Boston. So that puts into your Eastern Conference Final, Boston, New York. Boston, Cleveland. Is Boston going back to the NBA Finals?
Asking me?
Yeah, well, yeah. You have this matchup. Yeah. I got to ask him. He's got a different matchup.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yes. I said, if you asked me like a week or 2 ago, I would have said it was a coin flip between Boston and Cleveland. But past week or so, like I've just been, I know Cleveland has been, they've had the 1 seed all but locked up like recently. But I'm just not. They've just had a couple of games here and there where they just haven't been too impressive, and at the end of the day, I'll take experience and I'll take the best player. I'll take the best player on the court. I'll take the deeper team. Yeah, there are certain matchups that work in Cleveland's favor, but at the end, especially again, I said like if Cleveland were to win, it would be because of coaching, but
Yeah.
I still believe in Joe Mazzulla big time. So yeah, like I'll take Celtics, and I'm going to say 6 here. I think 5 might be able to do. I'll take Celtics in 6.
So you've got Celtics in the finals. Jalen, you have the Knicks and the Pacers.
I like it.
Looking like a 1999 Eastern Conference finals matchup.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Didn't exist. Who's going to the NBA final for the first time in a long time?
Hey, Madison Square Garden about to hold its first finals game in a while. Should be a big one. I got the Knicks. Look, Jalen Brunson cat that duo with the pieces they have. Like I mentioned, Mikal and OG. I'm going to ride them to the NBA finals here. They can all score. Couple of them can defend. But I think when you have 4 guys who can, any of those guys can go for 20, 25 any given game. We saw what OG and Mikal were doing when Jalen Brunson got hurt. That's a team that you don't want to. A team with multiple guys who can go off is very dangerous. And Jalen Brunson, we talk about clutch players over the past couple years. I think Jalen Brunson's one of the top clutch players in the league, and he's been that. So when they need a bucket in the fourth, they can do it. Hey, shout out Sand City Sports, you know it. Hey, Knicks in the finals. We going to see LeBron and Luka in New York in the finals. Talk about ratings. What?
I think it's so crazy that I've got New York out in the first round. Sorry, Andre. And you've got them in the NBA final. I think that's
disrespect.
Yeah, by you. All right, so let's do the same thing but faster. Golden State, Memphis will be the first play-in.
I have to see if Jimmy Butler is healthy enough, but I'm gonna go Golden State though.
What, Jimmy got hurt today?
Yeah. Towards the end of the game, overtime, he was limping.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Steph Curry and Golden State. I think Steph will do his thing here.
Sacramento, Dallas.
Dallas.
Give me Sacramento. I think Dallas. Dallas is still missing a ton of guys.
I'm gonna be the tiebreaker and say Dallas because I just don't believe in the Queens. So then you got Golden State's the 7th seed. You got Memphis first, Dallas for the 8th seed.
I guess I'll go Memphis. Yeah, they have the depth and everything else, even if they don't have the coaching or even the superstardom.
What do you think? The 1 and 8 seed, or
we're doing for the 8th seed, Memphis and Dallas. So it's a 1 game.
Memphis, give me Dallas here. I think AD is going to be the best player on the court without a doubt when he's there.
How the heck can you pick Dallas when you just picked them to lose to Sacramento? It's fine.
I said that's the match. Yeah, I mean, because I think I'm not high on Memphis. I'm just really low on Memphis in that case. Yeah, I'm just low on Memphis with John Moran and the boys. Not again. They just fired a coach. I don't know how that's going to be in the playoffs. Figuring that out, but hey, AD's already had some big games with Dallas too, so I expect to have a big game. And Dinwiddie's looked a lot better recently.
Yes, for sure.
All right, I'm gonna and I'll be the tiebreaker on that one too, and say I'm gonna go with Dallas too.
Huh? Okay.
And say because I don't like the fact that they just fired their coach 5 seconds before the season ended,
right?
And I have a strange feeling. I don't know why. I just have this feeling Dallas is miraculously gonna get healthy right now. I don't know.
I would if Kyrie was healthy, I'd like this team so much more.
So then Dallas would then face OKC. Upset. I'm
gonna give OKC a 5. I'm gonna give him a game. I'm gonna give Dallas a game. I'm gonna give AD gonna get a little 40-20 game.
That's too bad. We got all this way, but we got all this way just to.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So then that leaves Houston and Golden State. Let's assume health.
Assuming health, yes. Which I just checked Twitter. Yeah, Steve Kerr said in the postgame that Jimmy Butler said he's okay. So, right. I'll go Golden State in 7. This kind of reminds me of 2023 when the Warriors played their Kings in the first rounds. The Rockets, complete opposite. The Kings were an offensive powerhouse, not a defensive powerhouse. But I'll just go experience it. Then at the end of the day, there's not a player on the Rockets that I trust more than Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, or Draymond Green in the playoffs. So I'll take those. Take that Warriors in 7.
Jalen Green's just looked real shaky, especially these past 10 games. He's had some real duds and has looked that great. And when he doesn't have his shot going offensively, Sengun, if he's not, he kind of has to take over, and that could be a little problematic. I think, especially when you have Draymond in there. So yeah, give me Golden State in 6 here.
You want to hear something crazy?
Talk to him.
As the number 2 seed, Houston is equally separated as the number 2 seed. They're equally separated from the 1st seed as they are the 11th seed.
Wow.
Which is why I don't really care. I guess in the East it matters more separation. But
Houston at the 2 seed has the same gap with the 1 seed as they do with the 11 seed. So it's cool that they finished in the number 2 seed. And Chilltown's been telling me all season, preseason, he picked Houston. Houston. And I said, you're nuts. I'm still not sold. I think this is a team that can be had by a team that has the experience of Steph and Dre and Butler. And they've got holes. Because I said, look, they're a year away. So hopefully this doesn't destroy their confidence. It's just a building block so they learn, because I don't think they know what playoffs is. And I think a lot of people don't understand how the playoffs is different than the regular season. So having regular season wins is good, but it's not as important. So I'm with you guys. I got Golden State upsetting them. I don't even think it's an upset when your teams are, difference of 4 wins, but it's a 2 versus 7. So they're going to say it's an upset. Yeah. But Lakers versus T-Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Give me Lakers in. I think Lakers in 5 or 6. I'll give 5. I'll give Lakers 5. I think the Lakers match up really well against Minnesota here.
Lakers 3.
Look, I do think
I'll go 6.
They're gonna beat them so bad they don't even play the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, you stop Anthony Edwards scoring wise, secondary scorer. Minnesota really lacks that. I do think the boards might be a problem. Rudy Gobert might be averaging like 15 rebounds a game in this matchup. That's the only worry. How many second chance attempts he can get him?
I would love that. Worry,
but I think JJ's going to have a plan for Anthony Edwards. So he realizes this team.
For sure.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards doesn't have it going. It'll be a problem. And then for them, look, you put your best defender on Luka, you got LeBron and Reeves. You put your best defender on LeBron, you got Luka and Reeves. It's going to be a problem for Minnesota.
Yeah. You guys nailed everything on that. I'll go Lakers in 6. Just at the end of the day, the Lakers personnel, I don't trust their depth or their defense at the end of the day. So, I'll go 6 just to be safe.
And we don't play off Randall. Playoff Randall is not not a pretty sight.
No, it is. Although he hasn't been playing much better lately, so maybe that's time for the playoffs. But so we'll see what happens there.
Really? Because I think he showed us today what he's going to do. 10 points.
I didn't watch anything today. So
today was terrible. People were having these weird rotations. It was a terrible betting day.
10 points, 4 turnovers.
How many minutes?
33.
Yeah, they have to win this game.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
they have to win this game. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
He did get 10 rebounds and 5 assists. Like 10 and 5. But he's getting playoff ready, right?
I think Anthony Edwards shot the ball a ton of times, right?
So Lakers playing 4-on-5. Like I think we're good. I think we're good. So Lakers in 3. I'm actually really excited to see this matchup because for all intensive purposes, the Braves, aka the Paperclips, are the far superior team.
Yes.
Way more talented, deeper. But Denver's got the best player in the world. Denver or the Clips?
Clips in 5?
Clippers in 5.
Yeah.
Both of you Clips in 5.
Yeah.
Clips in 5. Yeah. They've looked so good. And again, Zubac going to make Jokic work. He's gonna make Jokic work. But then at the perimeter with the defense, again, Kawhi is probably going to be on, whether it's Murray or Porter Jr., or Aaron Gordon, even though, it's not the Kawhi of old. Still a solid defensive piece. Derrick Jones Jr. is probably going to guard Jamal Murray, I'd assume. He's probably their point of attack defender in that situation. Give me the Clippers. I just think offensively they have more pieces, more playmakers, and defensively they've been solid. What, top 5? Especially second half of the season, top 5 defense in the league.
The Nuggets don't have a coach, or they do have a coach, but like but like they're without their head coach. So yeah, that's the tiebreaker there for me.
Well, and so that you kind of took the words right out of my mouth, so I'll expand on it. I don't see how at this time of the year, when you need to figure out a way to stop a team that has this much firepower, because you've already talked about Zubchik, who's been playing great. We already talked about Harden, who's been playing great. We talked about a little bit about how Kawhi has now looks healthy, is surging, playing limited minutes.
I forgot Chris Dunn's defense. Sorry, Chris Dunn will be the point of attack defender.
Yeah. And Norman Powell. So from an offensive end, they've got all this firepower. They've also got guys who can come in and defend the positions that they need to, which on Denver is really, hey, if we can defend the center position, if we can, slow down Jamal Murray. Look, you're not going to stop Nikola Jokic. Like, let's be real. But if you can slow down those two positions, you're in a really good spot. So when you actually need a coach to scheme your team to some wins because the other team is more talented, you're asking a guy who's been the head coach I know he's been an assistant for a long time, like 7 years. You're asking the guy to come in and do that, and he's been on the job for 17 minutes. So I just think I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we got Oklahoma and the Clips.
You know where I still go, baby. We got Clips in 6. Clips in 6. I'm telling you, Zubac against Hardenstein and Chet. That's going to be an interesting battle. I mean, I'll take Zubac over those two any day of the week. And we know the other thing. The whistle on SGA, the whistle's different in the playoffs. I don't know if he's getting all those whistles in the playoffs, tighten up a little bit, let you play a little more physical. So that'll be interesting. We saw what happened to SGA against the Lakers when he didn't get a whistle. It's quite a blowout. And then again, with the defense, if you're gonna ask Jalen Williams, again, who's a good scorer, but playmaking and creating isn't the thing. I actually think the Jalen Williams on the bench could actually create more for his team than Jalen Williams that starts. That'd be interesting. So look, Lou Dort's going to give James Harden some problems without a doubt. He'll be all over him, or maybe he'll be on Kawhi. I'll be interesting who they put on. I wonder if Lou Dort will be on Kawhi or James Harden there. But yeah, give me the Clips here. And the way Kawhi's been playing, we talked about Kawhi's efficiency recently through the roof. Shooting wise, 3-point shooting percentage.
It's come down
since
when he first came back, but still, yes.
Yeah, it's been insane. So it'll be
54.
Yeah, give me the Clippers here.
Okay. You with Jalen on the Clips?
I got Clippers in 6 as well. The Thunder are one hell of a team. They're an historic team. And they faced very little adversity throughout the year. I shouldn't say they faced very little adversity because they have had their injuries and everything, and they've played and they've had some awesome. They've had their MVP leading them through the way and everything. He's played awesome. They've had an awesome defense along the way as well. But I think the playoffs are a different animal, and I think that's I think the Clippers are built to beat the Thunder. They have one of the best defenses in the league, and they have playoff experience. If Kawhi Leonard can cross his fingers for the next month and stay healthy and continue to play this way, this is going to be a very hard series for the Thunder, and I'm going to take the Clippers in 6.
So Maya Angelou says, when people show you who they are, believe them. We use this quote a lot on Fluent and Chill, and so I'm going to use it here and say, Clippers show me who they are every single season. The Clippers show me who they are, and I'm gonna believe them. I'm gonna believe who they are, and so I cannot, in good faith, select. Let me tell you a story. The Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers of the NFL had a quarterback by the name of Phillip Rivers. Every year, he would just fall short, in the playoffs, missed field goal.
David Tomlinson, it was a good team.
Just fall short, and then Rivers got old and he left, and they drafted this great kid, Justin Herbert, and he was gonna sit for the first year and watch and learn. And unfortunately, a freak accident to the starting quarterback, punctured lung, like a rib or something, and he couldn't play. And Justin Herbert was thrown into the starting position and played amazing. In year 2, expectations were high and they were going to go to the playoffs. And they said, Fluent, what do you think? And I said, Justin Rivers is on the Chargers, and the Chargers are going to charge, and they're going to do what they do. And what happened, do you know, in those playoffs?
4 interceptions, I think.
And,
third before interception game.
And how'd the kicker do? Like the Chargers and what has happened since? He has proven that he is Justin Rivers because the Chargers will charge. And I believe the San Diego Paperclips are much like the San Diego Chargers, that I know who they are. They keep showing me who they are. Other people still look at them and say, well, this is going to be the year you want. No, it's not. So I'm going to go with UFC, KFC, OKC, Thunder in 6. This is actually going to be my favorite matchup. This might be the house divided. My Lakers against my Suns, Fluent Juniors, Warriors. Can the Warriors beat the Lakers?
Can they? Yes. Will they? I do not believe they will. I think that at the end of the day, like outside their big three, which even then, I think calling Draymond part of a big three is kind of generous at this point in his career. I would say that
if you're using big three as a team's 3 best players, which really how it started, like everyone thinks it's like they have like super teams, and no, that's their 3. Like there's a drop off after their top 3 players. That's fine,
right? Yeah. So. I don't like either of these teams' depths. I don't like either of these. I guess I like Golden State's defense a little more than I like the Lakers' defense. Even though I think JJ has a better scheme than Kerr's defensive end. But at the end of the day, I think it might come down to I think the Warriors have the 2 best players in the series. Even
Warriors, the Lakers.
Yes, the Lakers do. The Lakers have the 2 best guys in the series. I'll take the Lakers in 6.
Yeah, I think. Look, playoff Jimmy can be very interesting if he shows up with Steph, but playoff Luka is playoff Luka too. So, right, so I think that cancels it out. I do think LeBron and Steph kind of cancel each other out. Like I expect them both to do what they've done for several years. But I do think Reeves and Luka over Draymond or over Jimmy and I don't know if Draymond, Pods, whoever. It's just Lakers just have a little too much, but it'll be a good series. I think it'll be Lakers in 6.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick. If you had asked me this question, said, hey, in the playoffs, this is going to be the matchup, I would have said, problem, it's going to be some coaching because I don't have faith in JJ and I don't think they'll be able to scheme for what Golden State does offensively. And so I'm going to go with the Warriors, even as a Laker fan. I'm honest.
Yeah.
However, JJ has really surprised me as a coach. Whether it's his assistants who are doing up the schemes, him motivating the team to play defense, I actually think that he, like I said, I was wrong, and he's impressed me. So I don't think that's the hurdle anymore to get over. I've said since the beginning of time, I believe Steve Kerr is a very overrated coach. And again, that doesn't mean bad; it means overrated, meaning you rate him higher than he should be. And so,
is he the worst coach with 4 championships?
Is he the worst coach with 4 championships? Well, how many coaches have 4 championships?
I was going to say, Phil.
So, Phil, Arbach,
Greg, Red,
Pop. I think
he is.
Yeah, I think he's. But I think he's in such good.
Company's not worst. Yeah.
Being the worst of the 4 champion coaches is not necessarily a bad thing.
I hear you.
However, like I said, so I think he's over. So now that kind of weakness, I think, is that now becomes a strength. And now I don't believe Kerr will be able to figure out, and his assistants will be able to figure out a way to stop LeBron, Reeves, and Luka 4 out of 7 times, right? Because and when I say stop, slow them down, because you don't stop them, slow them down enough so that they can win the game. So now I'm happy to say I'm Lakers in 6. That leaves OKC and the Lakers.
Or the Clippers and Lakers in our case.
Or the Clippers and Lakers in our case. Okay, so let's go with your case. Clippers and Lakers. The Inuit Dome versus, I know it's not called the Staples Center anymore, but the Crypto Arena. I'm still calling it Staples Center. I still call it Toronto Sky Dome the Sky Dome. So there you go.
Big brands won't sponsor the show.
Okay, so Clippers, Lakers.
Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. Yeah. Similar answer to the Warriors. I also think that's I think at that point, like a lot of the Clippers' luck will be like a lot of like the fairy dust will start to wear off. So yeah, it's just at that point, I think I'll trust LeBron and Luka more than I'll trust Kawhi and Harden at that point.
Okay.
I think Zubac's gonna feast. I'm talking like 2016 every game. He's gonna feast. I'm really high. Zubac's gonna feast against the Lakers. They're gonna have an issue guarding him. But I'm gonna go again. Luka, LeBron, Reeves versus Kawhi, Harden, Powell. That's actually really close. Give me Lakers in 7. This is gonna be a 7-game series. I think we're real close. Kawhi, LeBron going back and forth. Harden, Luka back and forth with their step back threes. Norman Powell, Reeves can go back and forth. I think it's going to be super, super fun series. And then you have the defensive pieces, whether it's Chris Dunn or Vanderbilt for the Lakers. Man, this would be a good one. It might come down to coaching for this one. I mean, you just mentioned, and I'll give JJ again. I think JJ's the best coach. I think JJ's the best coach in terms of making on the fly adjustments. Even
it's funny. It's funny because I think that Ty Lue's better at that than JJ.
Yeah, I was going to go the opposite. Yeah, coaching in this series.
I'm giving. I'm just high run. Yeah, JJ than that. But yeah, give me Lakers in 7.
All right. So and then I've got the Lakers over OKC for the same. More about the experience stuff versus because, but it's kind of similar stuff. How are they going to stop all those guys? So it's I don't want to go too much into mine. So I got Lakers. So I've got then Lakers, Boston. You have Lakers, Boston. So let's start with you. Lakers and Knicks. LeBron in the Mecca.
In the Mecca, baby.
Final. At what point, just as a sidebar, at what year did Madison Square Garden stop being the Mecca?
You know what? I think so. I was growing up, everyone called it the Mecca. I think like in the 2010s. Because 2000, I remember the Mecca being a thing. And I guess there's still people holding on to, the great 90s Knicks teams. But they were so bad in the 2000s. And then for some reason, it just maybe lost the luster of calling it the Mecca. Or maybe it's just not the Mecca basketball anymore. I think people have said that too. Basketball.
Oh, but it was called the Mecca basketball not because of the Knicks.
Because the players who came out of New York.
Great players coming out of New York. Like if you look at the list of New York players, I don't think there's a city that can really compete.
You know what it was?
I give you my starting 5 from New York, and you give me your starting 5 from any other city. I'm probably winning. You know
what it is? I think in the 2000s too, there was a lot of the New York basketball players, whether Sebastian Telfair, Lance Stevenson came out really highly regarded. Maybe that fizzled out, so that name brand, just didn't.
Hey, listen, all I can tell you is this: I start my team by having Jordan and Kareem. I'm probably beating you.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know whether the city's really got it like that.
That's people born there because obviously Jordan. Really raised in New York, but all right. So who you got, New York or LA?
Oh, give me this. This might be.
This will be the highest rated NBA final in decades.
Talk about it. Give me Lakers in 6. Well, we'll give the Knicks a couple games. It's a coronation, baby, in the Mecca. We'll bring back the Mecca for this.
It won't be lose.
Oh no, they're not losing to the Knicks. Absolutely not. Not going to happen. Lakers in 6. I just think LeBron, Luka going to be too much for the Knicks here. Coronation of the GOAT. If you don't have him as a GOAT already, Finals MVP, Madison Square Garden to LeBron. Boom, we're gonna jump right live to it, baby. Live to it.
I gotta ask the question. Because we've had this conversation before. So just quickly, if Luka's the MVP, be honest, not as a LeBron guy. Be honest. Will that hurt LeBron's legacy? In the majority.
Yeah, to me, no. To the majority, okay. Yes, and I just want to say I was one of the first people to bring up this whole Finals MVP value in like 2012 because everyone wanted to do the Kobe great thing. I always said Kobe has 2 Finals MVPs and 5 chips, and and I always said this only matters if you're like in the top 10 conversation Finals MVPs. That's when you really start counting and it matters. So it's always mattered for sure. But again, I already have him as a GOAT.
My issue with Finals MVPs because I don't know if you guys know this. When I do my rankings, I weight everything for because everything has a different value. I think I've told you, points are more important than assists. Assists are more important than rebounds and steals, which are more important than blocks. Blah blah. Accolades are low, and although Finals MVP is a higher one than the rest, it also is something that's voted that I know for a fact the best player doesn't win all the time. Sometimes they win Finals MVP, but when you have guys like Iggy, Cedric, winning Finals MVPs over superior players, it takes away the importance, right, of it, unfortunately. So the weight drops a little bit because it's like any other accolade. It's voted by people and narrative matters. And like Tatum was clearly the best player on the Celtics, but Brown wins the Finals MVP. So although that one was probably closer than some of the other ones I mentioned, like Iggy and Maxwell, it always happens to the Boston guys.
But that, like I said, that only happens when like those players aren't in the GOAT conversation. Like respect to Steph, not in the GOAT conversation. Like to me, the only reason why Jordan versus Tim Duncan isn't really a debate to a lot of people is because if Tim Duncan was 5 champions and the 5 Finals MVPs with his resume, he's in a whole different discussion. Like being the guy without a doubt for those championship teams 100% matters. If Kobe had 5 and 5, he's probably elevated to another level. You know what I mean? So,
but even Kobe, you can make an argument that he has 2, but could have 3, should have 3.
You could say, sure, if you want to give him that.
Like Shaq, I think Shaq, the first one for sure.
First one for sure, second one for sure too.
The third one, if you look,
it's close.
I think you could say Kobe was better. Kobe was better getting up to there, but in the finals,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's true.
They don't get there if it's not for right.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
but also look at Golden State. KD wins those 2 MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
No, those are Steph's.
No, I think KD.
No, because Steph.
Which ones?
The Warriors.
Well, okay, no. So you think he deserved to win in 2017 and 18 the Finals MVPs?
I think they're both his because he was the most valuable player. Durant scored the most points. Yeah, he played good defense, but I give to not just the statistics, but the leadership, the who's.
So
is
2017 is one. I think 2018 is very it's 2018. I would go with KD because it was a sweep. Games 1, 2, and 4 were very well. They played like about the same, like impact wise. And game 3, Steph put together one of the worst performances that we've seen from an all-time great ever, and KD put together like one of the best performances that we've seen. So like that's the gap there.
The argument is that like defense is focused more on Steph too.
Did play the first couple of games last season in the final?
Scoring wise, he was not good at all. Yeah.
So that's why I don't.
Brown played better than Tatum in the finals.
Not the whole, not holistic.
But more often than not,
games 1 and 2 it was Brown. I think games 3 and 5 it was Tatum.
Yeah,
but Brown had the game clinching shot at the end of game 3. I think that's what.
I also give, and maybe this is incorrect. This is my opinion, but I also give credit to like it's my team. I'm the leader. I'm doing things that don't show up on score sheets that are dictating how this game is played. So Steph Curry, for example, easily could have said, "You're coming to my team, or you're on my team. I'm getting the shots. You're going to be the second option. I'm gonna, and they might have meant that they didn't win, but I still think they win. And he could have said, "Hey, I'm getting more shots. And rightfully so, he could have done that. I don't think they win as easy if he does. That being said, instead, he said, "Hey, team first. I'm going to take the step back." And listen, if you look at it, they take about the same amount of shots. They average around the same amount of points. I actually think he out rebounds and out assists Durant, I think, or it's close. And so, but he's that leader. So I give those things, like when you see like Iggy winning the MVP was not because of statistics. It wasn't because he held LeBron to 36 points a game, right? They were like
LeBron should have won it. He should have got the Jerry West.
He sacrificed to do. Yeah. And so I say, well, why do we not always do that? Why do we only do it sometimes? So the guy who still put up the same pretty much toe for toe on all the numbers as the guy, but also was the leader, also was the one that kind of took that upon himself, said, "I'm going to allow you to be you." I give him credit for that. And again, I'll say leadership for a third time. That's why I say, like, yes, statistically you can make that case. I give it to him because I know he's the most important person, because if he doesn't do that, this doesn't happen. And that's valuable. But anyway, So you've got the Lakers beating the Knicks. So let's finish off on Celtics, Lakers. Are you picking the homer pick, or are you going to be honest?
Going back to back.
Back to back, and like I said last week, Jason Tatum will be entering some conversations with a lot of names that people won't agree with, but he's gonna, but based on accolades alone and based on winning alone, he's going to be entering some conversations, especially with the Finals MVP. He's going to be entering conversations with some all-time greats that you may not agree with, but he's going to be putting some names. If you were to retire the day after you win Finals MVP, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he is also cemented himself as a top 50 player all time, and a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, first ballot Hall of Famer means nothing because you've got Carmelo and Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady as first ballot Hall of Famer, so that has absolutely no weight anymore. They have it has no weight anymore.
I hear your logic. I know your logic.
And there's some of the better ones that are first ballot Hall of Famers. I can give you another list of ones that you're just going to scratch your head at first ballot Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if they're first ballot Hall of Famers, yes, of course he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer after winning a championship and a Finals MVP. Absolutely. And yes, Kilby, yes, accolades are not super high value because of the voters' discretion. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm still going to say I think Jalen gets his wish. And Jalen's wish is to be right when he says this is the most parity we've ever seen in the NBA, because this would be 7 straight years of having in a 7-year span. Not one team has won it twice in that 7-year span. The record currently is 6, which right now we have tied the record from the mid 70s, I think 75 to 80s, whatever. This is the first time we have tied it with 6. So this would push it across the yes.
No, wait, because the Lakers won in 20.
When did they win?
Right?
Oh,
2020.
Yeah, winning. Yeah.
Oh, so
the Warriors won in 2017 and 18. The Raptors broke it in 2019, and then it's been a new champion every year since then.
Yeah, but the Lakers won in 2020, right? So
yes, correct.
Yeah, so
either way,
no, the Knicks would have to win. Technically, the Knicks would have to win. The Knicks would have to win.
Well, I'm still going with
LeBron James.
Let's go.
That I'm talking about that man on the Lakers.
You gotta wear a LeBron jersey when they win. I'll wear mine too. You gotta wear a LeBron jersey if they win.
When they win, I will proudly slide this up right here for a day.
I like it.
Nice.
I need that the whole off season or the whole season.
If my son didn't buy it for me because he's in a Laker jersey and I'm a Laker fan, it was at the book fair and he wanted to buy something, so very sweet of him. I'd give it to you, but it was a gift from him, so you cannot have it. But I will proudly put it. I don't know if you can see this ball, which is their last championship Lakers ball signed by everybody. Yeah, I think Lakers. I think Lakers in 7, and I think they put on an incredible show. And I think the difference is you're going to get a mad Luka who knows that he didn't do his best last year in the finals, and maybe part of that is how Boston defended him. And I think it's going to be tougher to defend him this year because, with respect to Kyrie and Lively and all the other guys, he does have a couple of guys that are significantly better than anybody he had on Dallas last year. So he's going to be able to do a little. He's going to be able to do a little bit more. So there you go. That's all the picks. That's the season. Those are the awards. Next year, next week we decide. No show next week because it is Easter. And for those celebrating, for those having some time off, go enjoy your time off. We will do a replay show of one of our all-time greats. What is it, best of shows? I will still post something so that people can have something to watch if they're. I don't know what do people have for Easter dinner?
We usually have some ham. Yeah.
Is it ham?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're on a ham, you're sitting there like, does it do like turkey where you have to fall asleep after, and you want to watch? You can watch a best of NBA. So 2 weeks from now, we are doing what that you said? Oh, greatest individual statistical season of all time.
Offensive season of all time, yeah. So
Okay, so we're all gonna bring our top 3 or top 5? Top 5? Top 5?
Let's do top 5. Yeah.
You do
Top
top 5, yeah.
Top 5 greatest statistical seasons of all time. That'll be in 2 weeks from now. Go follow Jaden. Let me try that again. Go follow Jalen Carter Music,
Instagram,
and All American Hoops. What are your social thingies? Is yours Jalen Carter Music?
Yeah, Jalen Carter Music on Instagram and TikTok.
On X, mine is at American Hooper, but on TikTok it is at All American Hooper.
And at sports_fluent. Until 2 weeks from now, now you're more fluent.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.